Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
Welcome back to a little bit of StarCraft 2 Commander Co-op Gamble. Surely I'll find ways of lengthening that title soon. I wanted to talk about today's target audience, reformists. That is a word that I'm going to be saying a lot during this video. Then the second, so let's see who it is. Alright, we got Han and Horner, which is so perfect for talking about reformists because the backstory of Horner, good luck, have fun. The backstory of Horner is that he was I think he was a mail guy. Like he delivered mail. Mail guy. Like he delivered mail. Or no, he was like a package driver under the dominion of man. And he was like, this sucks. There we go. He's like, this sucks. Okay, there we go. I need to join the rebellion so that way I can overthrow Minsk, because I think that the system and the world around me is a messed up place. And that's entirely true, because he saw the system for what it was. The system of imperialism, and now I'm transitioning very easily from the story that I'm talking about of Horner into the experience that we have today. And the way that I would like to illustrate this transition is through this concept of reformism. Reformism is the idea that we can change the systems that we experience right now. So whatever the status quo is, status quo just being the normal day-to-day stuff, we can make adjustments and changes to these systems, and as a result, the quality of life for everyone, allegedly, will increase. Or for the quality of life for everybody who benefits under the system of the system, of whatever the system just so happens to be. Well, in the United States, we have imperialism first, and then secondarily, capitalism, as the economic model through which the core national story functions. So there's no way that you have capitalism in its current modern, in the way that we know it right now. I'm not even talking about theory, I'm not talking about anything. In the way that you know capitalism, but in the way that you go to the store and you purchase stuff, in that way, capitalism exists under the concept of imperialism. You can't have this system. Oh man. I need to find a way to block the audio. Honestly, because it's kind of throwing me off my ability to talk about this stuff, which I'm sure, hopefully, is pretty funny, rather than cringe. Okay, let's go here. Alright. And then we need to get you running. We got a couple Hellbats, that should be pretty good. This is where I transition back over to making the rest of my assault galleons before I try to continue this line of thought of capitalism and imperialism and all that stuff. So let's get maybe one more galleon up. Get these guys running over here. I'm gonna have go something like that. We're gonna send those guys, and then when those assault galleons are done, then let's build some more galleons. And then everybody's gonna go chill over here.
Enemies are heading for us. Don't let them catch you off guard.
Oh, are they?
A jolt of seismic activity rocks the surface of Viridia Prime. The lava won't be too far behind. Word is the lava is hitting now. The Let's go live to the planetary feed.
Let's get a command center up. Alright, looks like everything got taken care of. That's good. Alrighty, we're gonna need one more armory. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Armory up. Armory is up on 2.
The Dominion fleet can disembark anytime.
I hear you needed a mercenary, eh? I hear you needed a
It
mercenary.
looks like that surge is finally over with. Let's watch the commanders get back to work.
And let's get some guys over here. Let's get some guys over there. A little bit there, a little bit there.
Are enemy forces about to attack the commander's workers? Stay
Yes.
tuned to find
Next
out.
question.
Calling in a drone. It'll harvest some best bean real quick for us. SCV ready. Even with the odds against them, workers have managed to reach 25% stability. A truly unexpected accomplishment. In the rear with the gear.
I like the sound of that.
Okay. You worker harvest right there. You worker harvest right there. Okay. So now that I've got my economy more or less set up, now I can get back to focusing on the thing that I wanted to talk about. The thing that I wanted to talk about is this idea of reformists. So reformists are people who believe, again, that the system can be changed. And I would argue, as many other people who adopt a revolutionary mode of thought would argue, that there is no way to reform the system. By making this argument that I am, which is that there is no way to reform this system, I want to point to the we're just over a month since the lynching of Nolan Wells. If you are even semi-conscious, then you should be aware of the murder of Nolan Wells. But if not, then let me give you the quick rundown. Basically, he was he went with some friends from high school out to an island, and on that island, some shenanigans happened, and they murdered him. He was alive, and then he wasn't alive, directly as a result of a bunch of white friends. Now, these white friends just so happen to also deactivate their social media platforms, to go totally quiet, to immediately lawyer up, and create a GoFundMe, which is a pattern that we notice of like several when several people are people being white people. When white people are alleged to be bad in some way, shape, or form, or having done some crime, then what we see is they lawyer, especially racial stuff. So like if I think there was a woman who like hate crimed a man, hate crimed a black man, and then she was like, oh, I need everybody to buy stuff on my GoFundMe, so that way I can be okay and all that. And she made like $180,000 overnight. She literally like got paid to be racist. That is exactly what we see going on with the Nolan Wells case, and the exact reason as to why there's no way that we can reform this system, because this system isn't in need of reform. The system is functioning exactly as the system is designed. Now, I want to be clear, I am not in support of the system. So when I'm saying that it is functioning exactly as it is intended to, I'm saying that because from the beginning of this entire country, like this country was formed on the basis of imperialism. It's founded on the basis of imperialism, which is the belief that a certain group of people should be able to basically dominate others. They should be in a position of power over other people, which will allow for the gain of resources, land, power, all that stuff. It's supremacy at the end of the day. They imperialists ultimately believe in supremacy. That is the history of the United States. Every system that was created is in support of that goal of imperialism, even capitalism. And we see this dating back. It's in this book called The Nutmeg's Curse, or also another book that I highly recommend is called Black Marxism, um, where these books illustrate the history and reasoning as to why white people in the U.S. and white people historically over the past 600 years or so. So I'm referencing the Dutch East India Company. Why the Dutch East India Company was able to make so much money off of what was proto-capitalism, but enabled to exist in the way that it did under imperialism. And that's because you can have all the money in the world under capitalism, but you're gonna need the military under the army of an imperialist in order to really make it work. Oh shoot! I just had a SCV die.
Big moment for the forces down below.
Come on, military! I need you to get there a little bit sooner. Speaking of military imperialism, I need this military to come and defend my resources, which is exactly what the U.S. Empire does. Oh no! Oh.
Our enemies are picking up the pace. Expect them soon.
Oh, I let a SCV die. And I think I let another SCV die too.
I can commit to that. How suggestive.
Okay, let's get Mira's units going up over here. I know my spidey senses are tingling that it's time for more research upgrades, so I'm going to get those. There's a hummingbird that's going to go right next to my face.
That earthquake only signals one thing. Another lava surge is coming soon. Another lava surge has come. We'll have more after this.
Let's get some more Reapers going. Okay, but yeah. So, as a result of imperialism, and again, because things do change over time, nothing remains truly stagnant, including imperialism and capitalism. So the economics and enabling of those economics through violence. Things change. So, in the U.S., they needed to the white wealthy landowners needed to preserve the institution of slavery in order to make sure that they could continue to profit and become independent from England. Again, for the purposes of profit. Uh, in order to maintain the institution of slavery, which is an institution, they needed to create a caste system. A story, a fabrication, and this goes. They're simply building off of the work that was started by Christopher Columbus back in 1492, when he began the modern racial caste system by making it so that Christians, white Christians and all that stuff, were seen as, more favored by God, basically. Let's get some race down.
Hostile forces sighted. Be on
Okay,
alert.
and then with these guys, we're gonna go over here. Oops, and I need to get those. I need to get those guys cloaked ASAP.
More lava coming soon. I don't believe you. Admit it. You're desperate for attention, Terry. I'm getting a report that the lava is surging right now. Let's switch to Lava Cam 6. Only 25% remains till the stabilizer is charged.
pretty nice to be able to just be in the air, though. Um, but yeah, so you have with Nolan Wells lynching, you have the entirety of the uh, systems in the U.S. mobilized not to catch the murderers, but to enable their protection. So you see a bunch of uh, parents of these white kids who murdered white kids. I'm not trying to excuse them at all. Oh, these white people who murdered Nolan Wells, you're trying to see them protected by their parents who are judges and lawyers and cops and professionals and all this stuff that makes it so that their kids, their white kids, will not have to face accountability for their actions in any way, shape, or form. They will be protected by the systems and the police and the politicians and the news outlets all exist to justify in some way, shape, or form the actions that are taken by these professionals. It's a system of functioning. It is not just any one individual or group. Besides the block that is white supremacists, or like the white supremacist caste system created under imperialism and enabled through the economic tool of capitalism. So this is why I would highly encourage you to change your mind as soon as possible if you're someone who believes that the way that the world currently is in the United States can be changed for the better existing under the system of imperialist capitalism. Unless the only logical way out of this is if you recognize, realize, and admit that there is no reality where um, the function of empire and all of its pieces, the racial caste system, the um, capitalist exploitation of the working class, and gendered labor, all of this stuff. There's no way that you can maintain all of those systems, or that you can reform those systems. They are inherently for the they inherently represent the death of people in some way, shape, or form. Um, oh, sweet, we made it. And Nolan Wells is the exact reason for that. I stand with the family of Nolan Wells, and I know that every black kid deserves to grow up. Every black kid deserves to grow up. We exist under a truly evil system. There is no reforming it. Abandon this idea, and I'll probably see you over in the next video. I hope that y'all have a better day, and try to look up the Nolan Wells case for more information. Or let me know in the comments below, and I can absolutely reach out and we can have a conversation. I would love to do that. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.